Hey, welcome everyone to the Alternates, a basketball show for the other. We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Maybe the first show ever to take a break after 2 weeks. We thank you for everybody for joining us. We've got a really, really great show lined up for you today. We've got the headliners, the Underground Network, start today, which I think is going to be kind of juicy.
It's going to be good, yeah.
And then we're going to be picking our duo jams for the week.
We got all that and a lot more fun stuff coming up after this song, which is Ebb and Flow by TV Freaks from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
Ontario, Canada. You go to one hockey game and suddenly you're listening to Canadian hardcore.
That's right. So this song is from the Bad Luck Charms LP on Deranged Records.
Awesome.
This time last year I was a king. I had all I needed, everything. This year I'm living like a dog. Cold-headed gambler on a road. Face covered in soot. Blowing in all my fancy stuff. Haven't had enough. Face covered in soot. Got nowhere to put. And flow. It's just easy, you know, but you never win. Especially when you're banging on a bird and let you in. Oh, my face is covered in soot. Oh, I got nowhere to put. Got nowhere to put my fancy stuff. You know I haven't had enough. My face is covered in soot. And flow. It's just easy, you know, but you never win. Especially when you're banking on a prayer to let you in. Oh, fuck it. I'm back on top. This kind of love can never stop. Just like that, I'm low again. Just wasn't part of my plan. Fuck it. I'm back on top. Got love can never stop. And just like that, it's gone again. This wasn't part of my plan. Oh, no.
What is up, y'all? Welcome to the show. We're so happy to be back. We're so happy to have you all with us. We, of course, are the Alternates. I am your host, Brian Cullen, and with me, as always, is everyone's favorite, California's preeminent fender bender, Clayton Stevens.
Hello, everybody.
I know you got a thing for fenders. We talked
Oh,
about it for
I
like an
do.
hour after
Yeah.
the last episode.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Before we jump into it, just want to take a quick second, remind everybody, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's in the link. The link is in the episode description. If you haven't done so already, thank you everybody that has.
Yep.
We're at like 68.
Yeah, getting close to our 75.
Yeah, so we're pushing for 75. So let's get to 75. It's going to take all of us. Get your friends to do it. Steal all of their devices. Log in.
Yep. Sign up your boss. Sign up your grandpa.
Yeah. From Beyond the Grave. But start burners. I don't give a shit. Start
Yeah.
some burners and sign it up. YouTube has, we're fighting the algorithms here, and there's benchmarks that we have to hit before we can do stuff. And then if you're not watching us on YouTube and you're catching us on your preferred podcast platform, I did it.
Yeah.
First try.
Yeah.
Wherever you're listening to us, just remember to subscribe to the show so that you get all the latest episodes. You stay up to date with everything that we're doing. If the platform you're listening to the show on has an option for rating and reviewing, like Apple Podcasts, hit us with one of those, just like this one right here from Bernie X Mac. He said, awesome show. Great ideas, awesome segments, just a super fun show. Excited to see how it progresses. Bernie, thank you so much for the kind words. From Beyond the Grave.
From Beyond the Grave.
Bernie Mac, that's what I'm talking about. From Beyond the Grave, subscribe. That's what we're trying to get.
That's what we're trying to get to. Yeah, exactly.
And then just remember, if you are catching us on YouTube, hit the like button on the video. Hit us with a comment, especially if you've got any opinions about some of the stuff that we're saying. Yeah.
I'm sure you do.
No, sports fans with opinions? Never heard of it.
Get out of here.
And if you want to get in contact with us, you can do so by emailing us Our email address is thealternateshoop@gmail.com. That's also in the episode description. You can reach out to us by hitting us up on our social media platform accounts on Twitter and Instagram. I am at Brian S. Cullen, and Clayton, you are at Clayton_Stevens. Stevens
Correct.
with a V.
Yeah, that's it.
Both those handles are also in the episode description. And of course, you can always get in contact with us by hitting us up in the comment section on the videos. I monitor those more than I should probably admit, but you will get a response back in like 5 seconds if you hit us up on there. Clayton, we were gone. This is the first time I've seen you in over a week.
Yep.
First of all, I gotta say I missed you, buddy.
I missed you too.
Yeah. It was hard for me.
Yeah.
But it was good to get out.
Yeah.
How was your week away?
I spent a few days going up the Central Coast here in California.
Okay.
Went to the Monterey, Carmel area.
Awesome.
Did some stuff that I haven't gotten the chance to do living in California my whole life. Got to drive up the one a bit. See a bunch of sea lions and otters and seals and all that fun stuff, and spent some time outdoors and not paying attention to my phone besides taking pictures and time lapses and all that stuff. And it was just really good to get away. I think it's been a tough couple of years for everybody, and my band had a couple shows get canceled. So
you were supposed to play shows last weekend. You were supposed to be out of town.
Yeah, supposed to be playing some shows that ended up getting postponed for obvious reasons. Yeah. So this was a good excuse for me and the partner to get away and get into nature a little bit and all that stuff. So it was a really great reset. And once I got back, I was able to catch up a little bit on basketball and all that stuff. So I feel caught up and ready now and ready to jump into this. How about you? How was your week?
It was good,
you
man.
Went out of town too.
Yeah. I had to get out. It was long overdue.
Yep.
Went out to Joshua Tree, which is
one of my favorites.
Oh, it's one of my favorite places on earth. I've been to a lot of places, and Joshua Tree is a very, very special. I'm not a religious person or new agey at all, but the best way I can describe it is like I have a odd spiritual connection with
the vibes are high in Joshua Tree.
Yeah, well, it's the high desert, so that makes sense. But no, it was good. I went out there with my partner. She took me out there. She knew that I've had a rough year and needed to. My recharge is getting out into the desert. And with that said, I was out of service for the better part of the week. So I spent the last weekend cramming on the NBA, just trying to get as much in as possible. Yeah, catching up, doing all of that. So let's get into the headliners, because
let's do it.
That's basically been my news source for the last couple days.
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to throw some headlines at you.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick one and we'll discuss it a little further.
Amazing.
All right. First one here. The Bucks' Grayson Allen suspended one game after a flagrant 2 foul on Bulls guard Alex Caruso that led to an eventual wrist fracture, we found out a little bit later. 76ers reportedly waiting for James Harden, saving Ben Simmons for a trade of that type during the offseason.
Yep.
Interesting. And that came during, in regards to Maury's recent talking in public and some.
Did you watch that whole interview?
I caught glimpses of it. I didn't watch the whole thing front to back.
It was pretty unfiltered on it.
So there's some stuff coming out with the Sixers there. Then we also got Klay Thompson misses weekend games for rest and soreness in his surgically repaired left knee. Seems kind of typical. And Frank Vogel benched Westbrook down the stretch in a loss to Indiana, possibly signaling big changes for your Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, these are juicy.
Yeah, these are juicy.
I got away for a week and shit went down in the NBA.
Yeah.
These are all interesting. The Westbrook Lakers thing, not quite interested in that yet.
They bounced back.
Yeah, and I think that if there are going to be moves, that's going to be the headline that I want to talk about. This is just
we're waiting for the bomb to drop.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, there was a little rumor about them wanting to maybe get Kevin Love, Chetty Osman, and Colin Sexton and send Westbrook out. I don't know why the Cavs would do that.
Yeah, I don't.
If that's true, that's got LeBron's fingerprints all over it. Klay Thompson, the rest I get. He sat out one game with rest because it was a back-to-back. We'll see where the soreness goes. If it lasts a couple more days, I think that there's something more serious there, and that they're kind of downplaying it. So I
keep an eye on
that. Not
yet,
one. Yeah. 76ers want James Harden. I don't really want to talk.
I mean, we got to start a new segment just called Ben Simmons News.
Yeah,
It's just like every week we get a little nugget of Ben Simmons news that isn't news at all.
But also, like, 76ers, if you wanted James Harden, you had a chance. You should have fucking pulled the trigger when he was in Houston. You had the package for it. That's on you. So I don't even want to talk. Whatever.
Okay, yeah.
That's the one I want to talk about is the Grayson Allen suspension.
I thought you might.
And the Alex Caruso injury.
Okay, let's get into it. What did you think of it?
So I got thoughts on this. There's a couple different angles to this. This is why it's so interesting to me. Let's start with Grayson Allen.
Okay.
One of the dirtiest players in the NBA.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna take any like shots at him or low blows. We're not gonna mention that he looks like a 12-year-old Ted Cruz. We're not even gonna get into that, okay? We're just gonna talk about how dirty he is. He has a track record of this. This is not a first incident of shitty play. Something really like not okay in basketball. This is also not the first time he's been suspended. He got suspended when he was at Duke. And the team finally had to do it after the third time he tripped a player. He had a history in college of tripping players. Yes. He would hook them with his foot when they blew past him because he couldn't stay in front of the ball, and he would trip players up. This is his second ejection as an NBA player. Technically, the first one came in a summer league game, but to get ejected in a summer league game, that's wild. You're doing some wild shit. And that ejection came, it wasn't a flagrant 2, which is what he got ejected for and suspended for in the game against the Bulls, but it was back-to-back flagrant 1 fouls in like a 3-minute span during a summer league game.
I remember that. Yeah.
So he just has a try. I'm upset about it, man. I'm upset. I don't think it's okay. And 1 game seems kind of weak to me. I think that the suspension should be longer than that. You broke a player's wrist.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are upset because of the name here, right? Grayson Allen, as you said, his reputation precedes him. Specifically, I think his reputation is tarnished from his days at Duke. The Summer League incident you're talking about, there's a lot of guys who get frustrated, get too flagrant, and get kicked out of a game like that. Not a big deal. What we're talking about is Grayson Allen's history at Duke, which was tripping. And there's just no basketball play when you trip somebody, right? Like when you stick your foot out, it's just not a basketball play. You're not going for the ball. You're not trying to do anything. You're trying to injure somebody. Mm-hmm. When I saw this play and I had seen the online reaction from it, I was actually surprised. What I saw...
You were surprised?
I was surprised. What I saw here was Grayson Allen going for a block. And I know it sounds wild, but I saw Grayson Allen going for the ball. That's what I saw. And Alex Caruso fell in a very unfortunate way. He landed on the side he landed on his side. He landed on his wrist, and it's a easy place to break. And this just seemed like an unfortunate accident to me. I think 1 game suspension, considering his history, that he needs to be more careful than other players, was probably appropriate here. I think what the NBA did was perfect here, honestly.
Wow. Well, folks, I hope you're enjoying the last episode of The Alternates. I could not disagree with that more. I hear you with the reputation from college. Okay. Mm-hmm. I get that. And that was the tripping thing. He's like kind of done it slightly a couple times in the NBA, but like nothing egregious, nothing wild. This the swing. So what you're talking about here... This is what he got ejected for in the Summer League. It's the same move.
So what you're talking about on the play here, right, is there's a fast break. Mm-hmm. Caruso goes up, and Grayson Allen, I think we can agree here, clearly goes to the ball.
Yeah. Okay, immediately... You said what you saw was somebody going for a block.
So immediately
that's what I first saw.
He goes for the ball, right, and then you see his other hand come through, and what I thought I saw was him trying to literally grab the ball out of the air and pull it down, like as if you blocked somebody so bad or rebounded it, because Alex Caruso was so clearly out of control by the time he was up there. That's what I saw. I saw a regular basketball play where someone fell in an unfortunate way.
How many times do you see somebody go up with the block with one hand and then swing down with the other one?
Not often, but
yeah,
but again, like it was I believe it was in the spirit of the play. I believe it was in the spirit of going for the ball.
He was swinging so hard with that second arm that if he was going for the ball, all he was doing was hitting it out of bounds. He wasn't going to grab it.
Everybody does that. Everybody tries to pack the ball as hard as they possibly can.
So his statement was that he was trying to grab the ball.
That's what I saw. I mean, and
it didn't look like
I
a
didn't
grab.
even know. You told me that he said that. I didn't even know he said that. That's what I saw with my eyes. It looks like a guy trying to grab the basketball out of the air.
I mean, I'm sorry, but these guys are professional athletes. They literally work hours and years on perfecting the motion of their bodies. These are the most in control. Professional athletes have more control of their body than the normal person.
No, there's a play
that did not look like that. I mean, it looked controlled, but it didn't look controlled for what he's saying he tried to do.
I disagree, and I think that the play that you see often in this situation is the fast break. Somebody goes up and they push their sort of hip and mid area. That to me is one of the most dangerous plays in the NBA. It's super dirty, and that's not what he did. He jumped up for the ball. If it was a push, that to me is a dirty play. Going for the ball and just it's an unfortunate fall.
I will say this, and I know that you haven't known me super long. I know a lot of people watching haven't known me super long, but there are people that will attest to this, that I've always said my least favorite action in the NBA is pulling somebody down when they jump. I think that is the most dangerous thing that you could possibly do. And that's not a normal motion for a body to go through, and it's the quickest way to hurt yourself. And that's what I saw. Bringing that second arm over and kind of hooking them in the air and like swiping down at them. That to me, you're ripping somebody down when they're in an upward motion. That is so dangerous. And that's why I've got a problem with this. And this has nothing to do, my opinion on this play has nothing to do with his history.
There's no way it doesn't. There's no way that this is being colored, not being colored by Grayson Allen's history.
I think in large, out in the world, yes. My personal opinion on it isn't that, because I've gotten mad at players that I love for swiping down on players that are jumping and ripping them down.
It's just hard for me to believe that if this were, I don't know, somebody who's loved Klay Thompson, that this would be considered a controversial play. I think it just would have been looked at as an unfortunate accident.
I think if Klay Thompson does this and Caruso fractures his wrist, that's a conversation, and people are going to talk about.
I mean, it's a conversation. Look, it's a conversation because Alex Caruso is a vital player to the Chicago Bulls team.
Yes.
They're going to miss him a ton, and this is a huge problem for them going forward.
Yeah.
That's the NBA. Like, people get hurt all the time. Like, unfortunate things happen. I think
they do. I said, this one was manufactured by another human being, though.
Okay, so we'll end it here. But I'm curious what you wanted the NBA to do here with Grayson Allen.
I mean, I would look at like 3 to 5 game suspension. You know, I mean, all eyes are on it, right?
Uh-huh.
And so this is the moment that you need to make it known. This is not okay to do. It upsets me so much. And especially because what you said is like, he's so vital to the Bulls.
Yeah, he is.
Like, Caruso was a meme for a couple of years, right? When he was on the Lakers, and
it's a fantastic player. I love everything about Alex Caruso.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you kind of laugh about at first when you see him, but you realize he is such a major, major role on a team.
He's one of the best connectors in the NBA.
Dude, the Lakers miss him so much.
Yeah.
They completely mishandled that situation. Like, the Lakers would love to have Alex Caruso right now.
Any team would be happy to have Alex Caruso.
And the Bulls, especially now being without LaVine, who's not on the roster, he's on the roster, but not currently active. He's out. This is going to hurt them in their guard rotation.
Big time.
So I just, there's a ripple effect on this that I think is major and is what makes me partly so upset about this play.
I certainly understand that side of it. I think the punishment was fair, but 3 to 5 games, I could see that too.
I would banish him to the C League.
I like it.
And that's SEA League. He's got to live on a boat out in the ocean.
10,000 leagues under the sea, yeah.
All right. I'm sure that we could argue about that all day, but let's move on. What's not being talked about right now? Underground Network time.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about it. So what I want to talk about here is a team at the bottom of the standings.
Okay.
And that's the Detroit Pistons. And specifically, there's a guy who was picked number 1 overall this year that I feel like the entire NBA landscape is sleeping on how incredible he's playing right now. And obviously, I'm talking about Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
Look, Evan Mobley and Franz Wagner and Josh Giddey and
tread lightly, Clayton.
All these guys have played so well and they came out so hot that I think we forgot about Cade Cunningham as...
Well, they're on better teams.
They're on better teams, and because he didn't start the season. I really think that played a huge role. It's like we already decided a few weeks into the season who the good rookies are.
Yeah. Well, he didn't start, and when he did, it was rough. His first couple games were rough.
First of all, let me just say a couple things now where he's at now. Because now he's been playing. Yeah. He's, taken over the team. He's the number 1 scoring rookie in the NBA. He's taken that over from Franz.
Are we doing per game or is this totals?
Per game.
Okay.
He's scoring the most points per game as a rookie right now, 15.7. He's second in rebounding. He's a 6'6" point guard. He's second in assists, only behind Josh Giddey. 1 assist behind him. He's averaging 5.2. Giddey's averaging 6.2. He's 6th in rebounding. Okay, behind guys like Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Like he's behind like bigs like Mobley, these guys. He's second in steals. What Cade Cunningham does is he fills up the stat sheet in every way that you could possibly imagine. I believe in this rookie class, he is the best leader that we have.
Okay.
He's 6'6". He's a point guard. He's averaging these assists with nobody. His supporting cast, he needs to play with a great shooting guard, somebody who's going to really score the ball. Because I think what really makes Cunningham so great is that he's a real point guard where he loves to get people involved and score when he's open, when those moments come to him. That's what makes him so special, I think. And so he's passing to Hamidou Diallo. Okay, that's his starting shooting guard next to him.
Okay.
They were closing the game the other day with Cunningham, Diallo, and Corey Joseph all playing together. They have terrible big play as well. You have Isaiah Stewart, but he's a 6'8", undersized big is what he really is.
Right.
So all I'm saying is Cade Cunningham is coming through on the promise. He's giving us 15 points a game, 5 assists. He's giving you 5 rebounds a game. He's giving you a couple steals. He's doing everything with essentially no talent around him. He's going to be the best player that comes out of this draft. I believe that wholeheartedly. And when we look up in 3 years, it's going to be hard to believe that he won't have won Rookie of the Year.
So here's my question to you. When you, let's say you get a voting ballot for Rookie of the Year, are you looking at just completely individual stats, that's it? Or are you looking at how they're affecting a team?
Of course context matters. But,
so
Evan
I think that's why Mobley is...
Right, but Mobley is playing with Darius Garland, who is the Cade Cunningham of his own team, right? He is a guard who's been allowed to develop for the last 3 years, and he allows Mobley to play the way that he's playing. Mobley does not have the ball in his hands. That's what's so special about Cade Cunningham, is he has the ball in his hands, and he can play multiple positions and play all around the floor.
I hear you. I think what's getting Mobley at the top of a lot of people's ballots is what he's doing defensively.
Mobley is the Rookie of the Year right now.
Yes.
But in 3 years, I believe we will be looking up and saying it's crazy that Cade Cunningham was not the Rookie of the Year.
I mean, yeah, but that's in 3 years. You're saying that Mobley is the Rookie of the Year right now.
But he's on a better team.
Michael Carter-Williams won Rookie of the Year. You know what I mean? Like it's just whoever's having that best first year. Yes, long term, Cade Cunningham is most likely going to be the better player, the more impactful player.
I think Cade Cunningham is a result, like right now, him being on this team is a result of the NBA changing to players like him. I think probably 10, 15 years ago, he would have likely been a much lower draft pick than the number 1 pick overall. But because versatility, 3-point shooting, all these things have become more of the forefront of the NBA, now he's taken number 1 overall. And it gives him less of a chance to be on a team where he could contribute to winning, being like, let's say a Paul George, who was drafted 10th overall, gets to go to a team like Indiana, who already had some decent pieces around. Now he gets to fit into that team. Cade Cunningham, his context is, I'm the only player on this team that is for sure going to be here in a few years.
Right.
He's just dealing with the pieces around him. So, it's a hard comparison. Of course, Mobley is affecting winning right now, but he has Darius Garland. He has Jarrett Allen. He has better players around him that allow him to fit into a context easier than Cade Cunningham does.
I mean, I hear you. What's keeping Mobley at the top of my ballot, and I'll end it with this, because again, I think this is another topic that we can go back and forth on, is what he's doing defensively that is so impressive as a first-year NBA player.
Oh,
running three bigs, running a like box and one, triangle, like they're running so many different defensive systems, and his IQ has allowed him to be so effective in that. They have him pushed out to the perimeter half the time and to start their defensive sets. And for a guy at his size to be able to do that and still stay with someone who's driving to the rim, everything that he's doing. And like you said, yeah, he's with these other great bigs and that he's still being featured and they're winning.
But with a great point guard. Like Darius Garland is a great point guard. He's not a good point guard. He's a great point guard. And this is not an anti-Mobley rant like in any way.
Yes, it is, dude. Yes, it is.
I like Mobley as much as anybody.
This is an attack.
I easily have him as the second best player in this draft. By a long shot. I think it's him and Cade at the top, and nobody's even really close to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just more a pro Cade reminding everybody this guy's so special, and he's going to be special for a really long time. And I'm just really happy to see that he's starting to show the promise of what we all saw in college.
I hope so, man. I said it. Mobley's at the top of my list. I love that Cade Cunningham, what he's doing. I love that he's in Detroit, and I hope that he can elevate Detroit to something good because they've been rough. I love seeing the Pistons be good. It would be amazing if they put something special around them.
Yeah, and if you haven't looked into them at all, Cade has written a couple little diaries, I guess, for the undefeated. Just a little look into a really smart guy who, like I said, I believe he's a really great leader and someone we're going to see for a long time really matter.
Writing diaries.
Writing diaries, yeah, we're seeing it.
True to my 90s kid emo heart, so
yeah,
I love that.
Check it out.
All right. So they're at the bottom of the league.
Yeah.
We're going to move up to the top of the league, and we're going to play Start Today.
Oh, I'm excited.
So Start Today, if this is your first time catching this segment, this is a segment we created where we have a playoff bracket right there, and this is where all the seeding is right now. And we're going to go through the entire bracket and crown a champion as if the playoffs started today, right now. So this one's interesting. Some of these teams moved around since the last time we did this.
Absolutely.
There's some new teams in here too, which is really exciting.
Yep.
But let's get into it. So last time I took the East, you took the West. We're going to flip that. So we're going to start in the East. Those are the early tip games here on the West Coast. So let's start in the East. So our 1-8 matchup is the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics, a new face in Start Today.
Yes. The Celtics have made it out of the play-in tournament. They're in the real playoffs.
Oh, and we should mention we are not doing play-in tournament on this bracket only because I didn't want to have to create a bigger bracket. So for that fact, to save me time, we're doing just the top 8. So 1-8, Miami, Boston. Who do you got?
I got Miami pretty easily.
Okay.
Pretty easily beating them here.
All right. Fair enough.
Not much to say.
2-7. I kind of like this matchup.
I kind of like this matchup myself.
Brooklyn and Charlotte.
So in this matchup, no KD.
Yep.
The Nets are at home. They have the home court advantage. So only
no Kyrie for the first 2 games.
For the first 2 games, they will be missing Kyrie. That being said, I can't go against the Nets. I'm going to pick the Nets in this one. But I like the Hornets to win a couple games here maybe and push around. And, the thing about the Hornets is they don't play any defense. So it's going to be a shootout if these two teams meet. And I just like the Nets' ability to keep the score going.
Okay. We're going to keep going. We're going to try to be quick here. 3-6. You got the Bulls and the Sixers. This is my favorite matchup in the East right now.
This is an incredible matchup. As we said, the Bulls right now are missing really, really important players. The Sixers are missing somebody, but I can't remember who. I'm kidding, because they're missing Ben Simmons. And
they're missing a competent coach. There, I'll say that.
Okay, there you go. And look, Embiid, I know I said it already on this show, and you didn't disagree with me. I think he's the best center in basketball. I still like the Bulls in this matchup. I think the Bulls... just give me DeRozan, Vucevic, Ayo Dosunmu. Whoa, yes, please give me all of that versus the Sixers. I believe Billy Donovan's a really good coach. I got the Bulls winning with home court.
I love that. My man Vucevic, Magic legend.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Embiid's going to get his. He's going to score like 400 points in that series.
Yeah.
But as we saw this past weekend, that's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like the Bulls in this matchup.
Okay. All right. Last one in the first round. 4-5. The Milwaukee Bucks versus the team with the Rookie of the Year.
Grayson Allen versus Evan Mobley.
And the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Bucks, Cavs.
Yeah. I like the Bucks.
Okay.
I like the Bucks.
Yeah.
They're just they're hitting their stride right now.
Yeah.
Really like the Bucks.
They're great.
Yeah. And I like the Cavs to again win a game here. I love them in this spot. I don't love this matchup for them, but I'd love for them to settle in around the 5 seed. I think that'd be great for them.
Yeah.
All right, let's move over to the Western Conference.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we got the 1-8 rematch.
I love it.
Suns-Lakers.
Suns-Lakers. This is a good series.
Mm-hmm.
It is start today. I'm just going to say I'm picking the Suns. Anthony Davis seems to be on the cusp of a return, but he's not returned yet. So we start today. They're without Anthony Davis. They've been a lackluster team this season. There seems to be maybe some chemistry issues bubbling under the surface. I think the Lakers can do stuff that will make them better and could maybe change my mind in this series, but it hasn't happened yet. So I'm picking the Suns.
Yeah, again, coaching advantage, I think, pretty clearly.
They've lost less than 10 games this season.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Monty's a great coach.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So is Vogel. I was really upset about the rumors that they might fire Vogel, that he was on the hot seat. Because
I think Vogel's a good coach.
Yeah.
I think Monty's a great coach.
Yeah.
That would be my... But anyways, let's move down here. Warriors Timberwolves, pretty fun matchup. I like
this.
it.
Oh,
yeah.
Patrick Beverley versus Steph Curry.
Yeah. Anthony Edwards in the playoffs is a yes. Let's get that.
I'm very excited for this one. And this one is interesting, right? Because Draymond is out.
Clay
questionable. Yeah.
Steph not shooting well.
Yeah, I saw a tweet today that was so funny. It showed all of his shooting splits, and it was like Steph Curry's shooting numbers this season look like tour dates because it's 3 of 17,
Ooh.
4 of 19.
Oh my goodness.
I'm still gonna pick the Warriors though.
Yeah, you got to go experience here.
I do, yeah. And there's still pieces that I really like on the Warriors. I still think that
Wiggins' revenge.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. But no, because he's not been great lately.
Yeah.
And this is start today. There were talks about him being an all-star starter for the first
Yikes.
6 to 8 weeks of the season, which is wild. But I'm still picking the Warriors. I think that there's enough talent on that team to outmatch the Wolves. And I fully trust D'Angelo Russell to try to be a hero in too many situations at the end of games and hand it over to the Warriors. So I'm taking the Warriors.
Okay, and then the alternates favorite, Memphis Grizzlies versus Denver Nuggets.
This one is a hard one to call. This is a very... because the Grizzlies don't have everybody right now. Denver is obviously missing their second star in Jamal Murray. They've had a lot of injuries. They're kind of an incomplete team.
Jokic is playing at a ridiculous level.
Oh, he's going to win
now.
MVP again. He's my MVP right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that another time.
Okay. I'm picking Memphis to win this one. Memphis is on a fucking tear right now. They look so good. We talked about it on a previous episode. I think that they are inching their way into title contender category. Mm-hmm. So I'm picking Memphis.
Okay. And then 4-5 Jazz Mavericks. This feels like the early 2000s.
Yeah. This one is tough. This one is very tough.
I believe we're getting no Rudy.
No Rudy.
No Rudy. So that's
no
very
Bogdanovich.
No Bogdanovich.
Bojan Bogdanovich is out.
Yeah.
Which makes things interesting. You get playoff Luka, and they're starting to turn things around.
Oh, big time. Big time.
No Donovan Mitchell either.
Jeez.
Now. He missed the last game.
Who's going to win?
I'm taking the Mavs.
You got to take the Mavs then.
Luka's finally going to get out of the first round. As somebody who covers the Clippers, has had to watch him play the Clippers in the first round in the last 2 years. He's one of the scariest dudes you could possibly face in a playoff situation. And with the Jazz being as hurt as they are, I think it's...
No chance.
Luka is single-handedly winning that series.
100%.
All right, we're going back east. We got the 1-4 matchup. Miami Heat versus the Milwaukee Bucks.
Very nice matchup here. Very nice matchup. You know, the Heat quietly have been playing really well. Worked
They're
their
the
way,
1 seed.
Worked their way back up to the 1 seed.
How the hell did Miami get to the top? Anyways.
You know what? It's because they never fell too low. You know what I mean? When they had these injuries, they had health and safety, they had all this stuff. They found a way to just play 500, 600 ball and just stay there. They get their guys back, and all of a sudden they're in the 1 seed.
Spoelstra is a warlock.
He's a warlock. I got the Bucks winning.
Yeah.
I just love the Bucks. I think really figured out how they can get past a team that does what the Heat did. That was kind of like, that was their Achilles heel, was that type of team. And they've gotten over that hump. I think Giannis is playing as well as he's ever played. They still have the big three. I'm going with the Bucks.
Okay. Then we've got the 2-3 matchup, the Brooklyn Nets versus the hobbled Chicago Bulls. Again, Nets are also hobbled.
Really
hobbled. And have home court in this series.
And have home court, yes. This one was really tough for me. I'm still going to go with the Brooklyn Nets. Wow. I know. I just can't get off them. I mean, watching Kyrie play basketball recently, any game you have him in, they've got to be favored. He's playing at a super high level right now with barely playing any basketball over the last year.
Yeah.
If he's healthy and he's going and they're going, I think this would be a tough game, 7-game series possibly. And I got the Nets winning.
Wow. Okay. Let's head back out to the West Coast.
Let's head back to the West. So we got Suns, Mavs.
This is interesting. I'm taking Suns because of experience. They went to the finals last year. They know I have a lot of opinions on their playoff run last year, but they were there and they went far. The Mavs have not been out of the first round yet. This iteration of the Mavs has not been out of the first round yet. Jason Kidd is a handicap on this team, I believe. I don't believe in him as a head coach. Suns. I think the Suns win this. I think that Luka might make it a little interesting, but I just think the Suns are too good.
Love the Suns' ability to play different ways.
Yes.
Too. Like the Mavericks are pretty locked into a system. I know they're playing a little different than they did last year, but I'm with you. The Suns, they pick teams apart, man. Like when it gets down to the end of a game, they figure out what you do well and they take it away. All right, so then we get to the Warriors, Memphis, which is always juicy.
This one is juicy.
Very.
I like this one. So the Warriors got out of that first round basically on the back of Steph Curry. You think maybe Andrew Wiggins. Memphis, pretty solid right now. They're only missing a couple guys. Mm-hmm. I'm taking Memphis to win this series.
I love it.
I love it. I think without currently, like we said, start today. All right, everybody. Before you hit us in the comment section, please do. Just remember, it's start today.
Today, yep.
Without Klay Thompson, without Draymond Green, I think that this Memphis team is so good right now and on such a run that I think that they can win this game.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like
this series.
Yeah, there's something about Memphis and the Warriors that the Warriors have had such a hard time beating them.
Yeah, because they play physical.
They play physical, and Ja is just a matchup freaking nightmare for them. Mm-hmm. I'm with you. As crazy as it sounds, in a start today, I would take the Grizzlies as well.
Love it. All right, out east, conference finals. This one, I like. I'm so curious to see how you pick this one. We've got the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Brooklyn Nets.
So with this one, if the Nets had KD, this would be very different. Without KD, I actually think this is kind of a beatdown from the Bucks. I certainly wouldn't call it a sweep. You know, there's a reason that I've picked the Nets to get this far. Yeah. I love, their guard play and such, but the Bucks are just too healthy right now, too good, too deep, too much star power. I think the Bucks pretty overwhelmingly would take this series without Durant.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in full agreement with that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go over to the West and do the Western Conference Finals of Memphis and Phoenix. How about that? Tell someone 2 years ago.
I know, right? This is great. The Suns. I think the Suns just have too much talent, too much going on for them.
This is where it stops for Memphis.
Yeah. I mean, they're still young. They had, they're in the conference finals. I think that is a huge accomplishment on its own. I just think that Phoenix takes this series. I think that their experience outweighs what's going on. I mean, Phoenix, like crunch time, their clutch numbers right now, Chris Paul specifically, insane. Absolutely insane.
And low-key, Devin Booker is playing extremely well.
Yeah, and with Memphis's style of tough basketball, I think Phoenix has guys that match up with that. You got Jay Crowder. Exactly. You have these guys that I think play well with that. So, yeah, I'm picking the Suns.
Okay, great.
So that leaves us with a championship.
The NBA Finals 2022. We got the Phoenix Suns versus the Milwaukee Bucks. We're back.
How did we get here?
We're back again.
I keep forgetting that 2021 ended. It blows my mind every time I see 2022. Yeah. So this is perfect for me. This is helping me out because I'm like, oh yeah, we're back.
Sorry, it's O'Brien. Who's going to win the NBA Finals?
I'm picking it this year. And I've got the Milwaukee Bucks. I just think that if you get Giannis into the finals again, this team is so good. So good. I've got to pick the Bucks.
Back to back.
Yeah, I think they go back to back. We start today.
I love it. Okay, so yeah, our first start today, we had the Nets winning. Our second one, we had the Bucks winning. Eastern Conference so far.
Yeah, which is funny because the top teams in the league standings, top two, I think, are coming out of the West. Mm-hmm. But I believe in the Eastern teams just a little bit more right now.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right. Let's do one more game before we get out of here today.
Yep.
And I got to be honest, not looking forward to this.
Oh, I am, though.
I'm sure you are. So this is Duo Jams. We are going to pick our current NBA Jam duos to go head-to-head in a fantasy basketball matchup this week.
Yep.
So last week, we did the bottom of the league. I picked the Orlando Magic. You picked the Houston Rockets. My duo was Cole Anthony and Wendell Carter Jr. I took a gamble on that one, and let me tell you, my friend, it did not pay off. Wendell Carter Jr. did not play a single game in that week. He did, however, play games in the week that we took off, and I tried to find a win for myself in there. Still didn't happen. You won. You destroyed me. The one guy I had put up like 136 fantasy points or 126 fantasy points. Your team combined for 223. So you destroyed me yet again. I don't know how the Orlando Magic let me down like this, but they did.
They never let people down.
You are now 2-0. I am 0-2. And I got to say, I'm going to pull back the curtain real quick here, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
When we started the show, we did some demo episodes to try some segments out, and we played Duo Jam for like 3 or 4 weeks in a row. And I killed you every week. The second we release episodes to the public, I just start getting absolutely murdered. Mm-hmm. And I'm very unhappy about it. So this week, we're going to do a battle of the cultures.
I like it. 2
teams that have set very strong identified cultures. So we got the Miami Heat and the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm taking the Grizzlies. My conference finals team.
Yeah.
Memphis Grizzlies. Easy. Ja Morant is unbelievable. He's maybe a year or two away from MVP considerations. And then a guy who a lot of people didn't believe in at first, but this year has completely turned his career around and lately has been unbelievably good. Jaren Jackson Jr.
I'm a big Triple J guy, so don't include me in those people that weren't.
Well, he just had the injuries, and it was starting to look a little bleak. But he has been healthy this year, and he has been so good for the Grizzlies. So I got Ja and JJJ.
Love it.
Who do you got coming out of Miami?
All right, so the number 1 seed, Miami Heat. Pretty easy here too. I went with just 2 bona fide studs. Let's just call them what they are. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo.
Okay.
Bam finally returned, and since he's been back, he's been playing okay. I think this is the perfect time to pick him in a duo jam because I think he's about to start going off, and Jimmy's just been on another level.
Yeah.
He had a triple-double the other night. Just awesome.
Yeah.
So going with Jimmy and Bam, Heat culture is going to bring in another win for me.
All right, I'm hoping Grit and Grind gets me my first win of the Duo Jam season. We will check back next week and see how that does. That's going to be our show for today. Thank you all so much for joining us. Remember, hit subscribe, hit us with the rating and review. We are going to be back on Friday with another episode. Friday, we're going to be checking out the headliners again. We're going to play 3-pack, which is my favorite segment that we've come up with. It's so much fun. And then we're going to be hitting the Casino of Clayton in Bet Brains, which I'm excited to recap a bet from last episode.
We have some money to straighten out.
Yes. So I'm very excited to see what lines you set for on Friday. Thank you all so much for joining us. We hope that you have a great week. We love you. We missed you. We're so happy to be back. And we are going to be leaving you with Minority Music by The Miracle Mile. It's a local hardcore band here in LA when I was in high school that I would go see all the time. And this is off of their 2003 Where the Heart Is LP off of Western Front Records. Thank you all. See you soon.
I hope you didn't get any blood on the money, cause I heard you stab yourself in the fucking back. And I would take these burning lungs over your profile device. And I would take these fucking drugs, even if you gave me the choice.